Bien, Monsieur le Secrétaire Général des
Mr.
Nations Unies,
Secretary General of the United Nations,
Madame le maire Hidalgo,
Madam Hidalgo, Mayor of Paris, and dear friend Michael Bloomberg, and ladies and gentlemen, mayors. Now, when I see this room, I see that I could be brief.
en fait, j'étais jusqu'à la semaine dernière un
So,
habitant de Paris.
until last week, I was a resident of Paris, and for the past week or so, I've been living in Le Bourget, and it's a pleasure for me to come back to Paris for a few moments.
Pour vous dire deux choses.
And I'd like to say two things.
J'ai été maire pendant
I was a mayor for
et président de
a number of years. I was the president of a region and a conurbation as well. So I can see,
maire que vous êtes
to what extent you, as mayors, play a decisive role in the action against climate change.
toute la journée.
This is something you've discussed all day long regarding public transportation, urban development, waste, water, and a series of actions. So you, as mayors,
Aller
to a very large extent,
le combat
will
contre le changement climatique.
win the combat against climate change.
Simplement,
And quite simply, I wanted to express my thanks. Tomorrow, if I understand properly, I'm going to receive this statement, declaration, which is also a commitment. But what's clear is that you, as cities, represent a real-life laboratory for the green transformation. And you're doing this in a remarkable way. And I'd like to thank you and congratulate you for your work in this area. And a second and the last idea I would like to add. We shouldn't have, on the one hand, work by or actions by cities and private enterprise on the one hand, and action by national governments on the other hand. As Michael Bloomberg pointed out earlier, this should converge. But before Friday the 11th, we have to reach a universal agreement on the climate. Things began quite well, in fact, exceptionally. Last Monday, we had in Paris a meeting of the greatest number of heads of state and government ever to assemble in the same place on the same date on a single topic, and the topic was the climate. Ban Ki-moon spoke, played a decisive role as a speaker. All the heads of state and government said, go ahead. We need an agreement. The negotiators began their work, and I have to say, well, I'm supposed to be a diplomat here, so I have to be very careful about the way I'm going to word this. Let's say there's still room for improvement. Tomorrow, Saturday, all the negotiators will submit to me as president of COP21 a document. I hope it's going to be shorter and better than the initial text. And then we'll have only 4 or 5 short days between ministers and leaders in order to iron out the final text. And we can't get it wrong. It's a combination of these initiatives by cities throughout the world, private companies, and also all the national governments of the planet. It's a combination that will allow the Paris conference, the Paris Climate Conference, COP21, to make history. And I'll wrap up on this note. It's the combination of cities, companies, and national governments that will make COP21 an absolutely essential landmark. And that's why what is happening today is changing the world, and it's changing the world in the right direction. Thank you.